Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. I want to do another video in the discipleship course, and this video is all about supply, and it is the supply of finance as much as it is the supply of other things. Seeking the Lord for Him to provide all your needs, and finding the will of God and asking God to provide for His work. Now, these are the two great things. It is God's work, and God's work done in God's way will always have God's supply. So how do we find? Do we send out letters pleading? No. Do we ask people for money? No. Do we set up a GoFundMe page? No. No, what we do is we come before the Lord and we seek for Him to provide for all of our needs in discipleship and in ministry. We need to find out what is the will of God and ask God to then provide for His work. That's the point. Now, it isn't just a matter of course as to what would be the will of God. It isn't just what can I think up? What is it that I think would be a good idea? What equipment do I need that would be really great and top of the line? No, it's not these things. This is a question of seeking the Lord and seeking to determine before the Lord exactly what it is that He wants you to have. And once you're sure that you know what He wants you to have, you then ask Him. And you ask in faith, because He loves to provide for His work. There needs to be a certain amount of planning about what your needs might be. And you need to work out what you will need in terms of all expenses. Now, you cannot necessarily assume that God will send you all of your expenses a long time ahead of time. Sometimes the need and the expenses will be given to you at the last minute, and that will involve you praying and praying without ceasing and praying in faith, and the Lord will provide for your needs. And we need to study the principles of managing money. You know, this is one of the things and one of the areas in which a lot of Christians, a lot of missions, a lot of ministries break down. We need to understand how money is managed, and we must always use official money for official purposes and never confuse official and private. It could be that in the course of your ministry you might come into contact with money, maybe even a lot of money, but it's for official purposes. This must never be used for your own personal needs. And it's far better, really, for all of the official management of money to be placed outside of the evangelist's or the pastor's remit, and it dealt with by people who are proficient in these matters. It's the work of a deacon. It's the work of a treasurer or a financial management system. And so that's very important, to set up a financial plan for your church money, and then have regular financial checks and balances. Now, what we mean by checks and balances is that you say to the people concerned, we understand that it's your task to deal with the money. However, what we're going to do is we're going to come and we're going to have a conversation with you maybe once a month on the first day of the month, and we're going to talk to you about what the current state of affairs is, and we're then going to ask you to show us all of the accounts. Not that we might have a major financial review, but we just have a periodic review from time to time. And then, of course, maybe quarterly or maybe certainly yearly, we have a particular session dedicated to the financial review. So that's what we call regular checks and balances. Checks is where you check what money is there, and balances is where you balance the books, and you do an estimate of what money is in transit and what money is actually in the bank at any one time. And this, of course, is generally speaking done by the banks, because the banks will send you statements. And of course, what you can do as a financial officer is you can have provisional statements of your own, which then are checked with the official statements as they come in. And really, if you present the checkbook and you present the finance statements that are the most current statements, then really that is, and there needs to be the trail. There needs to be a trail of money going in and money coming out, and the appropriate paperwork. The next issue is living by faith and learning to trust in Him. And of course, this doesn't mean that we're foolish. It doesn't mean that we just don't make any provision for ministry. There's nothing wrong with living by salary, and there's nothing wrong with living by faith. The two are just very much complementary of one another. In fact, both of them are nearly the same. But there needs to be practical faith for the funding of your mission work. You come before the Lord and you say, Lord, what is it that you're wanting us to do? And we will find out what that's going to cost. And then you come and you seek the Lord for the finances that you need. And of course, a lot of missions are self-supporting. So there's no salary, and so all of the people involved in a mission must provide for their own needs, or rather they must look to the Lord to provide for their own needs. And John Wesley's plan is something which I think is utterly excellent. He says, earn much to give much. And that is something that we really can all take on board, and we can earn good money in order that we might be givers of good money. And that's very important. The practical task for this week is mission. Develop a follow-up plan for new converts. What would you put in that plan? How long would this plan be? How many weeks would it run? How many days would it run? What is it that you want to put in to this plan, this follow-up plan for your new converts? Well, that's number 10. We're looking forward to seeing you on our next episode, which will be number 11. Have a wonderful day, and bye for now.